What's going on, guys? Oh my Godzilla back here with a very exciting Jurassic figure review, guys, from the Hammond Collection, the long-awaited Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus. This figure is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to take a better look at this figure, guys. Without further ado, let's jump right in.
Oh my God!
Quickly taking a look at the figure in the packaging. Great image of the Spinosaurus here on the left side of the packaging. Hammond Collection Spinosaurus. Very nice window. True FX. You got the Jurassic World logo on the top side of the packaging, which has the Hammond logo, but also the back of the Spinosaurus kind of comes across the side of that packaging. Check out a very cool image from the film and a little blurb. Feel free to pause. And it does have the JP3 logo on the bottom here. Couple great images of the figure. Cool couple of rowing poses. Good picture of the eye. Same little blurb there. Again, the Jurassic Park 3 logo is present. And in the bottom of the box, guys, check this out. And feel free to pause real quick and grab a snapshot of that barcode. Take this to your targets and show them that barcode, and they can scan it and see if they have this figure in stock. For mine, I had to go. They did not have it out on the floor. They actually showed they didn't have any in stock online. But when I had somebody in store scan the barcode, they were able to go to the back. They had a couple of them left. So use that barcode, guys. Best of luck hunting down your Hammond Collection Spino. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with our Hammond Collection Spinosaurus. First thing I wanted to do is I will kind of tuck the figure over here, and nose to tail, this thing's like 26 inches long and about 11 inches high, foot to spine. In this pose, you can stand him up a little taller if you want to. I have noticed this figure is a little interesting to pose. His legs are a little tricky occasionally. He's just so big. That sometimes the weight distribution is a little awkward, and he does not love to stand in a ton of poses. But as you can see, guys, just a ton of gorgeous detail on this figure. Let's go ahead and start down at the bottom, taking a look at paint detail and sculpt. Great, nice, shiny black toe claws. Look very good, painted all the way around very accurately. Moving up the foot, we do have great detail from the kind of little areas here to the more sectioned spines on the top of the foot. Great scale work. Nice detail moving up the leg. Shin area, calf has great detail. Good detail on the calf muscle there. And in the back of the thighs, very good as well. They have lots of detail as well. Aside from all the interior detail, they do have kind of muscle definition in there. And the nice white paint on here. I know this Spinosaurus, to me, does not come across as the most accurate depiction of the JP3 Spinosaurus, but I think it's a very cool figure in and of itself. Maybe at some point we'll get a repainted version that's a little more screen accurate. But great colors coming through here. Nice white on the belly. The whole belly is going to pretty much be white from top to bottom, with the exception of a little bit once you get toward the end of the tail, and then the very, very top of the jaw here is going to have a little bit more different color. So nice little yellows in here on the body, kind of on the rib cage. More of that kind of white stripe extending the whole length of the body there. And then the sail is just absolutely gorgeous. I love the detail. I love the that orangish peach color that we have a lot of highlights for here, and then more of that orange and white and a little bit of like a bluish color coming through on the figure there. So a lot of great colors on the sail, so that's very cool. Moving into the arms, again, nice giant size hand claws, perfect for the Spinosaurus. Painted very accurately, both sides. Hands are greatly detailed. Inside of the hand, not as much, but the top of the hand, very nice scale work here. Some of the hinges on the arm, a little bit obvious that they're there, but they look fine aside from that. And moving into the head and neck, guys, very, very good work from Mattel in this area. I love the top of the neck, how it kind of has the brownish gray kind of coming through. That's very cool. Nice detail and color on the top of the head, moving down the snout. And I love the colors we get here. That orange kind of fades into like a lighter version right here before we get into the white. Nice little kind of gray splotches kind of moving around the area around the eyes. Very cool. Nice and dark area. Makes that green pop really well. And then it's got those awesome Hammond Collection glass eyes that almost seem to follow you around. Very, very cool. It does have the kind of fleshy membrane here in the jaw, so that actually moves along with the figure. When you see when you open the jaw and close the jaw, it actually does move along with him. Tongue, great, nice detail on there. Top and back of the mouth have some good detail as well. The tongue is posable, so that's good to know. And then the teeth look great. They're nice and soft and rubbery, so they're not gonna pinch anybody, but they look really good. I love that. I just love the crocodilian look to this guy's entire face. And then quickly jumping back into the tail, lots of that white kind of coming through, a little bit of oranges, nice kind of the maroony red, whatever color you want to call that. A very cool looking detail on the tail, and then as usual, the tail did come separate, just snaps right into place. But amazing paint and detail on the Hammond Collection Spino. In terms of articulation, she has quite a bit, as we come to expect with the Hammond Collection. So the whole tail is one piece, but it is on that bendy wire. So a lot of posability on the tail. You can kind of get whatever you want out of it because it is on that bendy wire. I don't love bending the wires too much because I know this material that is covers the bendy wire, can occasionally start to damage over time. So I tend to keep my Hammond Collection figures, the tails with these bendy wires, I tend to keep them actually pretty straight just because I don't like to risk the damage. But moving into the rest of the figure, starting at the bottom, we do have a couple pieces of articulation down here by the foot. So the foot is going to be able to pivot and spin. So good posability on just the foot alone. And then we do have this second piece here, which does rotate and stretches out. Meaning, yes, you can create, if you wanted to do that with both legs, you can create a good swimming pose for the Spino. Very cool there. And then obviously the thighs, going to move 360. You do get a little bit of rubbing here on the back, so I would not go all the way, but you can go, back and forth as much as you kind of realistically want to pose the figure without having to get any kind of scratching risks on the paint there. So that's amazing. No body articulation, no twist in the torso or anything, but that is okay. Arms are going to have the hinge here. So they're very articulate in that point. And they also will spin 360. Elbow, gonna have the same. It's got you can go straight with it, and you can come into about a right angle with it, but then that does also spin. And then the hands as well, nice movement on the wrist and spin, leading to very posable arms. You can get a lot of movement out of these arms, which is great. The head and neck gonna come in a couple pieces of articulation. The first point can kind of go from down to up, and then side to side. There's the side-to-side action from the front. And the second piece, down, up, side, side. And then the head actually has just the articulation on the jaw. And it's kind of like typical with the Hammond Collection. It doesn't like move and stay at any point. You kind of got to click it. So there's the first click, second click, and then that tongue does articulate. And you can kind of have it posed in the middle or down below. That's as wide as the jaw's open, medium. And then there's that last click, jaws shut. Looks amazing. I love how the teeth kind of come over. Very typical Jurassic look. I love the articulation on the figure. Size comparison time. Here is the tail thrashed Spinosaurus from Jurassic World Rebirth. Obviously, the Hammond Collection is going to be a little bit bigger. Still stands a little taller. And the figure itself is going to be a little bit longer. But I just wanted you to see the side-by-side of these two figures that look pretty sweet next to each other, I have to admit. The Hammond Collection Therizinosaurus going to stand close to this similar in height when they're both kind of in that leaning position. Obviously, they can both stand up. But the funny thing I thought was funny is if you open the Spino's jaws all the way, how big they are for that Therizinosaurus. You could fit the head of the Therizinosaurus in there a couple of times. But I think this face-off would be pretty darn epic. Clash of the Titans indeed. Spinosaurus, Giganotosaurus, Hammond Collection. One more look at the two of them if they're both kind of standing up. They do stand very similar in height. Kind of looking straight on. This is just how the Spinosaurus, the sail actually does not stick up over the Giganotosaurus as much as I thought it could, but it's still a little bit taller. And the rematch of the century, Hammond Collection Spinosaurus, Hammond Collection Tyrannosaurus Rex. This is actually the outhouse version, but these figures look great next to one another. Very, very cool. Obviously, the Spino gonna be bigger than the Rex, as you can see. With the sail, stands significantly taller. Lengthwise, they're actually fairly similar, but the Spino's definitely going to be longer, standing head to toe, probably longer by just a few inches. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Hammond Collection Spinosaurus from Mattel Toys. Very impressed by this figure. Definitely makes me want to continue collecting Hammond Collection figures. I really hope they give us a repainted T-Rex for Jurassic World Rebirth. I really hope we also get some Jurassic World Rebirth Spinosauruses in the Hammond Collection. And I really hope 10-year anniversary of the first Jurassic World movie, give us the Hammond Collection Indominus Rex. That would be super, super amazing. But guys, let me know your thoughts on the Hammond Collection Spinosaurus in the comment section below. Have you picked one up? Are you still hunting for one? If so, best of luck. Link in the description for the Target.com link. It's out of stock right now. Whenever it comes back in stock, just keep your eyes on that link. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you in the next one. Yeah!